Hey everyone, welcome to Cinelinx.com predicts E3. And I'm your host Matt, and together we've got a plethora of ideas and predictions with an all-star panel. From SCNS Live, we've got Jason the X.
Hey, what's up? I'm awake. I'm not drinking.
I can tell. From the Father Gamer Podcast, we've got Mr. Eric Gibbs.
Big words with the plethora. That's kudos.
Thank you. I'm using a thesaurus today.
Wow,
And the man who runs the ship, he is our captain. That is Jordan Mason, our editor-in-chief.
Hey, guys.
All right, so one of the things we wanted to do today is talk about E3, what we're expecting leading up to it, because it's only a couple of weeks away, and Eric and I are going. And I know I can't really speak for him, but I already know over there we're both pretty giddy, right?
I'm extremely giddy. Like there's schoolgirlage going on right now. So
we're in that little high skirt and everything.
That's for the trip. So, but yeah, I'm pretty excited, and we're going to be covering the hell out of E3. So I'm pretty excited for all of it.
Absolutely. We're looking to be there Sunday through Thursday, and we will not leave until that show ends. One of the things we're going to be doing as we get closer to E3 is having more of the journey to E3, so to speak, on Cinelinx.com. You can check all of that in any of our articles on Cinelinx.com. Well, let's get started with the first thing we want to talk about. Let's talk about predictions, things to expect, things that we've heard through the grapevine, stuff that actually sources have told us about, and what we can expect at E3. And the first thing that I want to talk about is the information on the next Star Wars game. A new one's coming, and we want to know what we can expect at E3 with this brand new Star Wars game. And I want to ask Jordan. Jordan, can you talk a little bit about that?
Yeah, this is something I'm really looking forward to, actually. And we're, in case anyone was unclear, we're not talking about Battlefront. We know about Battlefront. We've seen Battlefront, and we know they're going to show off more gameplay and stuff there for Battlefront. What we're really looking forward to is the upcoming game from Visceral. When EA announced that they were the exclusive people developing new Star Wars games, they also announced that a few different developers within their own company were working on titles. The first one they discussed, of course, was Battlefront, but they also announced that Visceral Games was making one, and I believe BioWare was the other one, but I haven't heard anything about that.
God, how amazing it would be if BioWare was making one, because you look at what they did with Mass Effect and all the other games in like Dragon Age, and just think about them making another Star Wars game.
I know. It'd be so awesome. But we know that the former director of the Uncharted games, Amy Hennig, had switched over to Visceral Games specifically to work on this new Star Wars title.
Right.
And so the assumption is, and from what we've heard, is it's a third-person action game, kind of like what Star Wars 1313 was going to be. Remember that game back in the day?
Oh,
Star Wars? Yeah. Something along those lines, possibly using some of the engine and assets that they already built for Star Wars 1313. And the latest it looks like now is that it's a Han Solo game. For the last few weeks now, Visceral on social media, the various people working on this game have been dropping little hints here and there online, all of which feature Han Solo in just about every little tease that they do. And we're talking Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff. Either feature Han Solo or the Millennium Falcon. So there's a good chance that it's a Han Solo game. I've been hearing for a few months now that we'll finally get to see what it is at E3 this year. I mean, at this point, you almost have to. EA's had announced back in early 2013 that they were developing all the Star Wars games. And 2 years later, and we've only heard about one, it's time to finally hear something about the other Star Wars games.
Now, speaking of another game that it's about time that we hear something about. That would be Fallout, because we haven't heard of a Fallout game in a really, really long time. And Bethesda, this is the first time that they're doing an E3 press conference. So it's kind of one of those, unspoken sort of assumptions that Fallout 4 should be announced. So, Eric, have you ever played Fallout? Are you a big fan of this?
Yeah, I've played pretty sure every one of them. I'm excited. I'm pretty sure there'll be riots if at this point, if they have that press conference and they announce something like a Duke Nukem type of game or something like that.
Oh God, seriously, there would be riots.
I will fly out there and burn the place to the ground if that happens.
Well, we're already
there, we will be there to light the flame.
I'm bringing the gas.
I'll be the first with the torches. I think,
and I'll be the one guy back there who's like, "Oh, cool, Duke Nukem."
I think they need. I think they need something like this right now, and it would be about right since it's the newer generation of games systems. So I think we're all hoping. We're definitely going to see it before we see Half-Life 3 at this point. But I don't know. What do you think, Jordan?
Well, unlike Half-Life 3, Bethesda has actually given us a reason to believe that Fallout 4 is going to happen. We've seen tons of fake websites and leaks and stuff out there, but we've also seen very real leaks too of concept art and stuff like that related to Fallout 4 that were quickly disappeared off the internet, which this day and age is, you might as well just confirm it at that point when you try to make it disappear.
Right.
So, I think everybody's been working under the assumption that they're developing the game. We just have no idea how long it's going to take.
Or where it's going to be or anything.
Yeah, and like Matt said, we said it back when Bethesda first said that they were doing their own press conference this year. It's like, you don't make a huge press conference to hang with the big boys unless you have something big to announce. And the biggest thing that they could announce at this point is Fallout 4.
And and they're not going to do this press conference to announce another Elder Scrolls, because they just came out with Elder Scrolls Online. They just came out with Skyrim not that long ago, really. So I could definitely see that Fallout 4 is probably going to be the biggest showcase that they have. But I think the second biggest one would have to be Doom.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just recently, Doom came out with a teaser, a mini trailer that was actually just 3 seconds long, and basically saying, if you want to see more, watch our press conference at E3. Now, one thing that's interesting, though, is, Jason, you can attest to this because we go to QuakeCon every year, that they actually showed a trailer at QuakeCon last year.
Which we missed.
Yeah.
It was a short teaser trailer, so we really didn't miss anything. We missed, basically Doom coming on the screen and a bunch of people going, woot! So, we really didn't miss that much. While I know they got to contend with everybody else making these announcements, so it's pretty much a lock we are going to see something from Doom at E3, but I think we're going to see more of it during QuakeCon, just because that is kind of their bread and butter. But it's a Doom game. It's been a while. We should get another one.
Well, I think at QuakeCon we'll get more of a demo of Doom. But when you're on the national stage of E3,
you don't have much time.
They're gonna go no holds barred, no pull any punches, show this game, because they want the world to be excited and enthralled with a brand new Doom game.
The question I have kind of with it though is, it's not entirely, but E3 generally is focused around more console games. And, I'm sure there'll be a port of Doom, but, I don't know. Yeah, not entirely sure how much they're going to show. They're definitely showing the trailer because it's already in the leak trailer.
Yeah. Just enough to show that we're a contender. I don't think we're going to see much from them, though.
I think I think it's a combination of what you guys have said. I think it's going to be. I think it will be a badass, no holds barred trailer. It's going to be a huge trailer that everybody's going to talk about. But I don't think we'll get details. I don't think we're going to get many details. And I think, like Jason said, QuakeCon is when we're going to get details. You're going to get hands-on demos, and I'm crossing my fingers for a release date. I don't think any of that's going to be at E3. I think we'll get a really, really awesome trailer that blows us away, but we're not going to get the details we want.
Well, another game that's looking to make a comeback, and one that's been a long time in the making, is that of Star Fox.
Woo! I'm sorry, that's me excited. Yes. I honestly love the Star Fox series. I always have.
Mm-hmm.
I bought a Transformer recently that really looked like an R-Wing, and I was like, oh, by the way, I need a Star Fox game in my life.
Right now. Right now.
It was such a great game when it first came out. I love the R-Wing, how you could, I forget which one you could actually change it to a tank.
Mm-hmm. I think that was in the 64 one.
That was on the 64.
Yeah, I didn't like that one so much. I do like just the traditional behind the vehicle, and you're shooting at enemies coming towards you. I mean, that's old school arcade gaming. That's why I liked Star Fox so much. So, man, Nintendo has to capitalize on these old properties that, us veteran gamers are into. We'll buy this stuff on nostalgia.
Well, the thing is, it's all they really do now, but it's just a matter of why aren't you, why aren't we seeing a Metroid? Why aren't we seeing all those things? So at least we're getting a Star Fox, and I'm pretty happy with that.
I mean, they demonstrated the game at E3 2014, but it was
right.
Yeah, so I mean, it's been a year. What have we heard? What have we seen?
Yeah,
so I think that's their big here it is. Look.
Yeah, and by process of elimination, they've got to do something big and something huge in the Nintendo way, and they've got to show us something to really captivate us. And like you said before we were even talking on this show, Jason, that they got to give you a reason to buy a Wii U. And I think that this is going to be one of the reasons, because of the fact that they're not going to be talking about Legend of Zelda. Because they came out with the new Legend of Zelda. They came out with a trailer in pomp and circumstance last year, but now they've come out and said, oh, well, it's going to come out, but it's at an undetermined time. And, they're not going to talk about it at E3.
Yeah,
so
they straight up said that we're not talking about Zelda at E3. We're not.
Because they're tired of us asking about it.
Well, yeah. And it's a bummer.
I want to put this out here. People need to realize, because people were very upset, and I am upset too, because I'm a huge Zelda fan, but every Zelda except for A Link Between Worlds has been delayed.
Oh, yeah.
Every one of them.
Yeah. When they said that it was going to be delayed, it wasn't really a surprise. The surprise is that we're not going to show you anything new at E3.
Yeah.
It's you can delay a game, but you can, you can still show a new trailer. You don't have to deny us everything just because you're delaying the game.
I think something went on. I think they were planning on another announcement or something big, because they rented the hall, the Kodak Center, and they were going to do a live, through everybody we were here, and they were going to do a live show this year. And then all of a sudden they turned around at the last minute. Oh, we're not doing that. We're doing this.
Yeah,
thing.
And frankly, I like their online way. They've been doing it for the last few years. But like we said, they need a showcase piece, and I think Star Fox's year is going to be the showcase piece. And like Jason, I'm a huge, huge Star Fox fan. And it's been forever. We're talking two console generations now since we've seen anything from Star Fox.
The was it a 3DS Star Fox? I think was the last.
That was just a remake of Star Fox 64.
Yeah, that's right.
And it's which was cool, and I played the crap out of it. But
as long as we don't get the Star Fox Adventures, I'm good.
All right. So we've got Star Fox. That's what we're looking at for Nintendo. But one other game that we're really just looking for something. We're looking for a brand new Mass Effect. Mass Effect 4. That is something that we want to see at E3. And what information do we have on Mass Effect 4?
Well,
it was announced, wasn't it like 3 years ago? Pretty much.
Yeah.
In a kind of way, sort of.
Yeah, it's been announced. They've shown lots of concept art of it.
Yeah.
Too. Like official concept art, and they've talked about it a lot. They said that there's a playable build out there that they're playing. I mean, the game is in existence, and they've been working on it for a long time now. I'm gonna be honest. I'm surprised we haven't heard anything yet. Mostly because I was mostly waiting on Dragon Age Inquisition to release.
Yeah.
And it did last November, and it was amazing. But now that it's out, BioWare, of course, is going to be looking forward to showing off what's next. And everybody knows that Mass Effect 4, or whatever they decide to call it, is next.
Mm-hmm.
And, you know, they talked about it briefly at last year's E3, too, but they just showed concept art. I even made a comic strip about that, about how little they showed.
Yeah.
So what they need to do this year, I mean, look at what BioWare does best. They make amazing trailers. Really?
Hopefully games too.
Well,
yeah,
yes, but look at their marketing for all the Mass Effect games, especially Mass Effect 3. They make amazing cinematic trailers. Look at all the stuff we got for the Old Republic, you know, the Star Wars game before it came out, the MMO. You know, they're really good at those cinematic trailers, and I think that's what we're going to get this time. I've heard rumblings that that's what we're going to get.
Me too.
So I'm more than willing to believe that's what it is. BioWare has to show something. You know, they canceled that other game they announced a while ago. Or maybe not canceled it, they're repurposing it. They're basically starting from scratch on it. It was some 4-player battle game or something like that. So they don't have that anymore. What they have is Mass Effect, and everybody loves Mass Effect. So let's show Mass Effect 4.
That's true. And hey, you know, EA can't just keep showing videos of Madden and Star Wars. So they got to come out with something. And unlike you guys, I'm actually really kind of happy with the fact that they haven't said anything yet about Mass Effect 4, because that means, hey, look, there's no pressure on us. We're working on it. We're getting it done. And they're not going to make the same mistakes that they made with Mass Effect 3.
Oh, there's pressure, because I will hunt them down myself if I don't see something from this game.
Yeah, definitely. And well, that concludes our first one. And that was more of, this is what we know we're going to see. This is the things to expect at E3. And E3 is going to be such a huge expo, and I don't know if we're going to be able to touch on everything, but I know that come hell or high water, we will be at every single table. We will be at every single event. We will try to just demo everything and relay all that information back to Cinelinx.com, where you can find all of our articles leading up to E3 and while we are there, as well as any other news, reviews, editorials, and more.